We will start today with a little home decor project that is low risk and high reward. It's an art and frame set that gives texture to your walls. All you need is a little willingness to tear up a tablecloth, a towel, or even a throw blanket. Do-it-yourselfer Kaycie Chiampi is loving her set of textile art, and she's bringing us a tutorial today. And when you look at this, it looks fancy, like you got it in Egypt or something. What do you think about when you think about textile art?
You know, I completely agree. I feel like this is something you're gonna see in like a high-end designer home. And the funny thing is a lot of textile manufacturers have been doing things like this with vintage rugs, vintage textiles for years, and they sell them for a very high price point. But that's why I love this, because you can get the same look for a lot less.
I am you. I see things and I'm like, I could make that, but
Absolutely.
I wouldn't know how to make this, so I'm glad you're here. But where are you using this in your home?
So I put these in our home office. It's right when you walk in to our front door, and it gives a big impact. I get tons of compliments on it, but honestly, you can put this anywhere you want some art.
I love it. How much are we talking? Because we said it looks fancy, it looks expensive. When you're making it yourself, I'm guessing the framing might cost a little bit, but what's your price point for making these yourself?
Honestly, you can make it as expensive as you want or as cheap as you want. So for the project I did, I used pillow covers that I had on hand, so that cost me nothing. It was really just the cost of the frame. But if you already have the frame, this could potentially be a zero cost project.
Zero cost. I love when we hear that. Okay, so what do we need if we're thinking of doing this? You said you had pillow covers.
Yes.
Are we looking for a certain texture if we're going to do it ourselves?
That's the biggest thing you're gonna want is you want some sort of a texture that has a weave to it, because that's what's gonna give it the more vintage look when you fray the edges. So if it's something that's just printed, it won't work. But a pillow cover, throw blanket, they work fantastic.
Okay, so you might have something like this lying around your house that you're just not using anymore, and you could use that. What you said, you might have your own frames. If you don't, do you have some good sourcing for that?
Yeah, I mean, I got mine at Target.
Okay.
10, 15 bucks.
Does it need to be thick because this is something thicker than paper, or not really?
No, not really. There's actually two different ways that you can frame it. So these ones, I picked a matte so that it would fill out the background, but then I also have another version, which I'll show you, where you can just float it in the glass.
Okay, should we just start from the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay, how do we do it?
So this I used from a pillow cover, and I actually just cut off the back, and I actually wanted to point this out because sometimes the back is more interesting than the front, and in this case, I feel like it is. And once you get your shape you want, this one is gonna go in a smaller frame, so I'm just gonna cut it down, and the more imperfect it is, the better it is.
So don't worry about cutting straight or anything like that.
No, you can make whatever shape
and
you want.
you're saying because you like this part.
Yes.
You like this added
the
fabric.
added detail, and then you're just gonna start fraying the edges. And that's why you wanna pick something that has a little bit of a weave to it, find a corner, and just start pulling.
You didn't ask me to do it, but I'm doing it.
No, but I want you to do it.
It's kind of fun. It reminds me of something I used to do with paper.
Yes,
so
it's
we're doing
a satisfying project for sure.
And do it on all the edges if you can?
Yeah, as much or as little as you want. Even like if you want to get kids involved, this would be a great kid activity. They think they couldn't do it, but you actually want them to destroy it.
Yeah. Were you actually kind of making, because I see some of yours, they have a shape to them. Did you cut those, or was that just all part of the fraying process?
No, it was just part of fraying it, and then because they were pillow covers, it had a little fringe detail on the side that I wanted to try to keep in some of them. So I just kind of let the fabric let me know where to cut.
Okay, and then you're getting rid of these strings.
Yes,
okay,
so we don't need any of those. And then once you kind of have it the way you want, this is another fun idea. So this is one of those frames where you put the piece in between the glass, so you don't need any kind of a matting. And you're just gonna—
Oh, the floating look, okay.
So you just lay it in there, put the glass on, and
it just looks like something like that. So do you think the more you kind of fray it up and stuff, the more interesting it will be?
For sure. It's gonna give it a little bit more of a vintage feel to it. The more you fray it, the more you destroy it. You could even take like some tools and scrape up the fabric, put some holes in it, make it look like it's been here for 100 years.
And when you put it in here, I've tried these floating frames before, and sometimes my stuff tends to move. Have you found that's not the case since this is kind of a thicker?
It is thicker, so it doesn't really move. With the mat, though, I did put a piece of tape just on the back, just to keep it from shifting.
And so did this have a cutout in the middle, and you just basically covered the cutout?
Exactly.
Okay, and sorry, tell me what you used again, tape?
I just used tape, yeah.
Just like double-sided tape?
No, not even. It was like painter's tape, just whatever I had on hand, and just put it on the mat and the fabric, and I'll just keep it from shifting when you put it on the walls.
Well, you were lucky enough to have some of these like sitting around, but if you had to source something like this yourself to make it cheap, would you suggest like a throw blanket, or what do you think would be cheaper?
You could, or even this one that I brought today, I picked up at Hobby Lobby and it was $5 just for the pillow cover.
Just $5 for them. Okay, well, I love it. Where can we get more instructions, info, ideas from you?
So I have all of this. I actually have the whole project on my Instagram, which is Gray Birch Designs.
Gray Birch Designs, and
Yes.
I understand you're totally redoing a house.
We are. It's been almost a year since we moved into our house. We've done a lot of projects, but we have so much more planned and some really fun things in store.
Are you tracking some of that on your social?
Every single bit of it.
Okay, we can follow along there. Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you.